Hi, my name is Daniel Ray. Welcome to this Street Epistemology Confidence Scale video breakdown. Now, the gentleman in this video who is doing this, his name is Ty. I've never met him. I don't know him. He seems like a nice, wonderful guy. I'd probably enjoy talking to him myself. But I've chosen this particular clip because Ty is so good at applying the SE confidence scale when engaging theists.
Where I set up a table and talk to people about whatever they want to talk about. I think it's really cool to show that, any two people can talk about anything, regardless of the color, whatever. Big size, how rich they look, doesn't matter. Normally the conversations that we have are really cool when they're centered around what someone really strongly believes or a philosophy they have or something they wrap their lives around. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about Marvel movies or your favorite junk food.
All right.
But is there anything that you really strongly believe is true or something you're confident about? Can I also fist bump you and ask you your name again?
Oh, yeah, Jacob.
Jacob, I'm Ty.
Jacob. That's a big question.
He's excellent. He gets people talking about God within a few minutes. He's very comfortable and it just makes his interlocutor relaxed. And he can jump right into a heavy conversation, ask good questions, and appear interested. And so this is a really good example of what the confidence scale looks like in action.
How confident are you that Jesus and God exist? All right.
I'd say 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to define 100% and just let me know
Yeah,
because it's a number, and
and
you can change the number. I don't care. But 100% to me is like
no doubt.
No doubt. There's no way I can be wrong. I'm not asking questions anymore. I am certain, closed-minded on the position. I'm closed on the position. 100%.
Let's go 98%.
98%.
Yeah, everybody has those periods of doubt, right?
I think so, and I think it's actually healthier to not be absolute about what you believe.
He let Jacob pick a number. And then did you notice that it wasn't until after Jacob picked a number that Ty defined what 100 was. And instantly, Jacob adjusted his confidence down to 98%. Now you might say no big deal, but there's a tiny, slight psychological advantage that the SE interlocutor will have when he gets his interviewee to adjust his confidence in a downward way, even if it's 2 percentage points, right off the bat. And so the confidence scale, if you haven't seen the last two videos that I did, there's links in the description below to them. But the confidence scale is outlined in James Lindsay and Peter Boghossian's book, How to Have Impossible Conversations. And it's found on page 86. And this is what they say about the purpose of the confidence scale. You now have a discrete metric that tracks your ability to intervene in someone's cognitions and instill doubt. Why would a complete stranger be interested in my level of confidence in my belief in God? I mean, it's not a totally strange question, but for somebody that you just met to ask you how confident are you about your belief in God, it's a little weird.
What got you to the 98% confidence on this God? Can I ask you, how does this get you to the God belief? Like, how does these experiments lead you to the 98% confidence in God? Or how does this being hard to believe make this 98% confident, like at a 98% confidence level? Like, was that the reason why you're 98%? Do you have enough evidence to justify 98% confidence in God? What got you to the 98% confidence on this God and Jesus? I'm just going to combine them both.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or like on the existence of the Christian God.
So I'm actually a medical student, and I found a big interest in biology when I was in high school. There's like one big hypothesis out there called the RNA hypothesis.
RNA world theory?
Yeah. And that because RNA can act as like a catalyst and also as a way to store information, biological information, that might have been what was initially used as protein in DNA.
Right.
But like when do you know the Stanley Miller experiments?
Yes.
Yeah. So they show that if you put like
RNA in one tube and make it rapidly produce itself, it can make like little tiny monsters of itself. Or like simplified versions of RNA.
The one I'm thinking of is that they put a whole bunch of
nucleotides. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
Well, you're fine. I'm just. It's been a while since I've read it. So like they try to recreate the oceans of the Earth in like this small environment, and then they would like zap it with electricity.
Sure.
To kind of simulate the environment and atmosphere of the Earth 4 million years ago.
Right.
And they show that they can actually make some molecules that are essential to life, some amino acids,
right,
and like urea, formaldehyde, stuff like that. However, the amino acids that they make are only like glycine and very simple non-polar amino acids, so they haven't shown that they can create more of the complex amino acids that are needed to sustain life, and they also never showed that they could create DNA or RNA.
Can I ask you, how does this get you to the God belief? Like, how do these experiments lead you to the 98% confidence in God?
I don't see a way of life spontaneously generating, and I don't see a way if you were to talk to my astrophysics pal,
sure,
and if you talk to him, I cannot see a way of the world or the universe spontaneously.
Jacob, can I ask you a question?
Jacob is not arguing from a point of incredulity. This is not an argument from incredulity. This is called abductive reasoning. The biological world looks like it has the hallmarks of design, and the most logical explanation is that it is design. And so it's not an argument from incredulity, but it is abductive reasoning to the best and probably the most simplest conclusion.
I'm wondering, so you have this theory that's presented in a scientific model, and it sounds incredible, and you say I can't see how that's feasible yet. Therefore, this completely other thing. How is that your foundation? How did that become?
I wouldn't say that's my foundation. That's just like part of.
Or how does this being hard to believe make this 98% confident? Like how?
Oh, okay.
How did that become the alternative at a 98% confidence level? Like, was that the reason why you're 98%?
I think that's just part of it.
Ty is trying to pin Jacob's 98% confidence level to one thing. So what Ty is doing, he's taking one thing that Jacob says, isolating that and trying to say, is that the thing? Jacob is trying to give a cumulative case. There's more to it than just one thing that gives Jacob the 98% confidence.
And I think if you look into other parts of my faith, so like it's kind of hard to explain, and it's kind of all feeling, right, from a skeptic's point of view. There are some things in your life that you just kind of you have a gut instinct that you know it's true.
Are gut instincts ever wrong?
Oh, all the time.
If they can be wrong all the time, does it justify supporting a 98% confidence?
And there is nothing wrong with appealing to one's intuition. It's because we are experiential beings. We experience life in a variety of different ways. And of course, our personal testimony is one ginormous part of how we know what we know, because we experience things. So it's perfectly rational and reasonable. God exists, and He wants us to know Him, that He reveals Himself to us, and we experience His presence and His revelation to us. That's how my Christian faith began. God revealing Himself to me in the person of His Son and encouraging me to read His Word. That's how my Christian faith started. So personal experience, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, Ty has personal experiences with his own points of view. We all have personal experiences. And so you can't, if you want to wipe out a Christian's personal experience, you wipe out your own too. I mean, we can't discount personal experience altogether. It's a part of who we are.
From a logical standpoint, no.
What is getting you to that 98%?
I'd say, so a belief in certain things in the Bible. So one of the big arguments in apologetics is, why would 12 people who followed Jesus around, heard what he said, and then saw him die, lie about him coming back to life, only to know that they were going to be persecuted and put to death for saying that. Like,
does that get you to the 98%?
That's kind of like the main thing. It's like the biology aspect, and then that as well.
I'm just going to test
Go
if
ahead.
that is actually your main thing. I'm going to ask you a question. If it turned out, this is kind of weird, and
no, go ahead.
Again, I'm just stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
If it turned out that there was substantial evidence to a criteria of your satisfaction that they were in fact lying, would that reduce your confidence?
Excuse me.
Would that reduce your confidence from 98% down
Probably,
to like maybe 70, maybe lower than that?
Probably.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Say I had a, I don't know. I have a cat. I do have a cat. And he's a really cute cat. His name's Vinny.
Vinny.
And I walk him on a leash, and he's a black cat, and he's super, super cool.
You walk your cat on a leash?
I walk my So listen, I used to work overseas for a while.
Okay.
It's very common over there. In Sweden, everyone's walking their cats around. In America, they keep them locked up indoors. And I'm like, that cat wants to be outside. That's why he's in the window. And if you leash train them really young, they're super, super cool about it. But it's not so much the leash training. It's just, would you believe me if I told you I had a cat and I showed you a picture of the cat and like I'm holding the cat? Like
Yeah.
Okay. If I told you I actually have a tiger and his name is Marshall and he's a full-blown Bengal tiger and I have a picture of him and it's me and the tiger, would you believe I have a tiger then?
It'd be tougher. It'd be harder.
It would be harder to believe.
Yeah.
If I told you I had a purple dragon from Jupiter that came and visits me in a time machine, and I had a picture of the purple dragon and there's like a DeLorean in the background, and it's a picture. It's the same picture. Would you believe that?
So this is interesting. From a cat to a tiger to a purple dragon from Jupiter in a time machine like a DeLorean. Now, I want you to notice how Ty described each of these things. His cat, the tiger, and then very specifically a purple dragon from the planet Jupiter driving a time machine. I think he said DeLorean. But notice, just pay attention to those very specific things. I mean, Jacob and Ty could probably identify a dragon, a purple dragon, a DeLorean, the planet. But what counts as evidence for God's existence, and who is defining those characteristics? How does Ty know what counts as sufficient evidence for the existence of God?
It seems like the more incredible the claim, the better the standard of evidence, or the standard of evidence improves.
Incredible is just an adjective. Remember that, just like extraordinary is just an adjective.
Would you say that God is more incredible than a purple dragon from Jupiter?
Whoa, hold the phone. Basically, this is a version of Carl Sagan's extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, but you should watch one of my videos on that as well, because incredible is just an adjective. Remember that, just like extraordinary is just an adjective.
Would you say that God is more incredible than a purple dragon from Jupiter?
I would, yeah.
So the thing isn't so much that I think the apologist angle is, hey, what's the likelihood of these 12 people lying? It's like, maybe it's not even that they're lying, it's just that that's a really low bar of evidence. People saying Tyrone has a cat, you believe that.
Yeah.
Tyrone has a tiger, 12 people said that. Maybe you'd believe it, maybe not. 12 people told you, hey, Tyrone has a purple dragon from Jupiter. It's like, I'm not believing that. Like, you need more evidence to support that with. What if it is a case of not so much that they might be lying, but that's just may not be enough evidence to reach that conclusion as a definitive claim, or at least a 98% certainty that a God exists, since it's way more incredible than purple dragon. What do you think about that?
All right, can you restate that question?
Yeah, it's kind of a long question.
Yeah.
Do you have enough evidence to justify 98% confidence in God. And if it's not on that 12 apostles story, what else is getting you to that level?
What else?
And so he says to Jacob, you need more evidence. But according to whom? More evidence? More evidence? What? How much more evidence? Who says? How much is enough? And according to whom? But what other things did Jacob mention? Remember? Biology, his astronomy friend, he mentioned the Bible and personal experience. Why don't those count?
I'd say I can't answer that just right now.
I'm totally fine with that. Can I throw one last?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
If I had a coin, it's a quarter. It's not a trick coin. If I flip it and I catch it, put it on the back of my hand, I don't know if it's heads or tails. Do you know if it's heads or tails? No. That's the best answer.
Yeah.
Until we have that for evidence. Jacob.
All right.
Wonderful talking to you.
Nice talking to you. That was really cool. So, explain to me what you do exactly.
Cool. I'm glad you guys like that. Thank you. What if I told you the best secret is anybody here can do that? You don't need a YouTube channel, you don't need chairs, you don't need a setup, you just need the willingness to start a conversation with somebody, or jump into a conversation that's going on, or at least be able to respond in a way where you can keep the conversation positive, where you let them do the thinking, and you really do make sure that you focus on what led them to that conclusion. Like what got them to his 98% confidence? The gut instinct, the personal feelings, the argument for incredulity. There's some really, really fun times to be had, especially as an atheist. When you realize that the best way, or one of the best ways to completely dismantle like a really indoctrinated mind is just asking them, how'd you figure that out? It can be as short as a 5-minute conversation.
So again, nothing against Ty. He seems like a likable fellow, really good at what he does, obviously applying the scale, the confidence scale very accurately in the way that the skeptics like to use it. He's very good at that. He's a good conversationalist. He makes people feel at ease. He seems fun to talk to, seems like a nice guy. Very good at what he does. And again, I have nothing personal against Ty. I just think that the tactic here is laid out exactly as James and Peter in their book suggest. Here's how you use the confidence scale to instill doubt. And I think by Jacob's long pause there, not that I don't think Jacob gave up his faith at this point, but there was just a little pebble in the shoe, just a tiny little bit of doubt there going, I can't answer you, I'm not sure. But that really was Ty ignoring everything that Jacob had shared during their brief conversation. So you have to ask why. Why didn't Ty accept those things that Jacob had said? Why was Ty not satisfied with Jacob's confidence level? It seemed like Ty was trying to reduce Jacob's confidence level throughout the entire conversation. That doesn't count, that doesn't count, that doesn't count, in a very tacit and sort of subtle way. So by the end of the conversation, Jacob is left wondering, I don't know. I hope you found this video informative. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this channel. I'm just getting it started, and I hope these videos are informative and entertaining and edifying, and I try to be civil where I disagree, and I'm sure if Ty sees this that I would want to be able to have him watch this and have civil disagreement as well. So I don't make these to get people. I just show where I think there's a level of disagreement, things to be aware of. And that's my aim, is to disagree civilly and with good quality production videos. So thanks for watching.